Of course, we all know who Alpine are, don't we? And yes, it is Alpine and not Alpine. They're that Formula One team that won the 2021 Hungarian Grand Prix. But then in reality, we all know that was the Renault Formula One team rebranded to help promote their newly revived sports car brand that they'd abandoned back in 1995. So, who really are Alpine? Well, it all began back in 1955 when Jean Recollet set up the company in Dieppe. He was a tuning specialist who, in his modified Renault 4 CV, won his class in both the Mille Miglia and the Coupe des Alpes, hence the Alpine name. His first road car was the little A106, but his most famous, surely the A110, that won the World Rally Championship back in 1973. The same year that Renault took over the company as it struggled to survive the international fuel crisis of that time. By now, they were also building single-seater Formula 3 and Formula 2 racing cars, and under Renault's patronage, built the first Renault Formula 1 car in 1977 and the sports car that won Le Mans a year later. All the while, they were still building road cars, like the A310, and tuning a variety of Renault road cars. They also built 400 of the wild mid-engined Renault 5 turbos to homologate them for rallying, utilising the rear suspension from the 310. They'd already produced what could be argued as the first hot hatch when they brought out the Renault 5 Alpine in 1976, a couple of months before the Volkswagen Golf GTI. 2 years after the 5 Turbo, Alpine produced this, the Renault 5 Alpine Turbo, the first French turbocharged hot hatch, of which just 500 were made. Although in the UK, you couldn't buy one, because Sunbeam owned the rights to the Alpine name with a little Sunbeam Alpine sports car. And yet it's Alpine this time. So instead, the cars were marketed in the UK as Renault 5 Gordini Turbos, using another of Renault's tuning outlets' names. It would be the last Renault 5 that Alpine would recreate. But now, some 40 years later, Renault have just launched their new all-electric Renault 5 E-Tech. And an Alpine version, the A290, is on its way. But before we all rush off into the EV future, we have this well-used, much-loved piece of rather special Alpine history to enjoy. It's a gently refurbished and yet very original gem for someone looking for some old-fashioned fun at a sensible price. It's on sale now with Tom Hardman on the Carhuna platform. Sign up at carhuna.com and you can buy and sell cars like these your way today. Well, thank you for accompanying me out here.
Well,
Tom, this little machine.
Yeah, I hope we're.
I'm just getting used to the old-fashioned steering wheel on your knees.
Exactly.
I presume there's no adjustment. to the
No
steering
adjustments
column.
at all, I'm afraid.
This is how you drove these cars, didn't you?
And it's like the little stalks as well. They're just quite sweet.
I mean, I can't believe I'm looking at 204,000 kilometres, and yet it looks in really good nick.
Absolutely.
Have you hammered the wings to make sure no rust drops out?
Absolutely. I had it on the ramp, tipped it upside down because it's only 840 kilos, so light enough to turn over.
And it's already perky. The sound from the old exhaust sounds nice. Oh, brakes down
We've
there.
got brakes.
Oh, I do a big heel and toe there.
Absolutely. I'm on the wrong side.
I mean, front wheel drive gearbox is always a bit sloppy, but they go in and the gears are there.
They're all there.
Which way should we turn now?
I think we should go left.
Get my turbo spooled
There
up.
we go. Look at those revs. Oh my word, that goes well.
So I presume we got no ABS.
No ABS, no traction
no
control,
traction control.
none of that nanny state.
I'm waiting for the torque steer, and yet
It
doesn't seem to have much,
well, it
does
doesn't
it?
have that much power, really, does it?
What is the power figure?
I knew you were going to ask me that. It does 110 miles an hour.
No, that's not my question. You are the expert with me. This is the whole point of this exercise.
I should have known that.
You're here to demonstrate your knowledge.
Knowledge. Not 16.8 seconds.
No, I don't want to know that.
Okay.
I don't want to know that. God, it's beginning to rain again. I might have to find wipers. Where do wipers?
This
Anything?
one here, there we go. They're really slow though.
Oh, is that it?
That's That's full blast.
I don't think the camera can see that. This is the speed of the...
Oh, they speeded up there.
So when did this arrive in England? Because it's not a Gordini, so it wasn't sold in England.
No, it wasn't. It arrived in England 2008-ish.
Oh, so it's been over here for,
it's
15
been over here
years.
for a few years. It's had 3 owners in the UK, 6 in France before that.
So that's what 6, I can't add up that quickly. About 9 owners.
9 owners. 9 owners.
So someone could be the lucky 10th owner of this gem.
Double-digit figures on ownership.
But it can't be the original engine at 200.
No, we're not the original engine. That was rebuilt in 2017.
Right.
And they rebuilt the gearbox at the same time as well.
Oh, so that's only 6 years old.
Yeah.
And how much mileage do you reckon?
And it's done 4,000 kilometres since then.
Oh, okay.
So it's done nothing.
That's why it feels so fresh and new.
And the current owner, he's done hardly any miles in it at all.
Yeah.
He just wasn't using it.
So how much do you know about the history of this actual car?
So we've got a full history file on the car. So we know that it was delivered new to Le Mans.
Oh, Le Mans?
Yeah. It was with that owner for 3 months. So it could well have been a demonstrator, a dealer, I would guess. And then it went through 5 other French owners.
And all this history's
all the history files there. We've got all the French invoices.
So when did it come to England?
It came to England 2008, and it's had 3 owners since then, including the current owner.
And the one that did the engine,
the last one who owned it from 2013 through to 2019-20. He did the engine in 2017. He did the interior in 2013. The gearbox was also done because there was damage to the gearbox, and the gearbox was replaced. They did the engine at the same time, and then all the suspension was set up. It's on Bilstein's.
Was that original? Was that an improvement?
No, that's an improvement. They actually did some suspension geometry, so it should handle better than any other Alpine.
Oh, that's wonderful. And I think the thing is with the Renault 5 coming, the electric one's coming back, and the Alpine returning to a Renault 5, it's a lovely little link, isn't it, from 40 years ago.
Can you imagine someone who's bought or buying the EV Renault 5 having this alongside in that garage?
Yeah, own
quite
both.
Cool.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
With the Grand Prix team now, you've got the prestige of a Formula 1 team.
Absolutely.
Unless they rename that team, they're naming teams now with all sorts of different names.
Exactly.
But also, we're talking about the Renault 5, the new Renault 5 electric car coming. But we're as clean as that, you told me.
Oh yes, we're on P1 fully synthetic fuel.
Yeah.
Which is carbon, 100% carbon offset.
So how have you got into that then? Is this a business you're doing?
Yeah, so I was involved in the drivers' parade at Silverstone British Grand Prix last year, driving the twin cam Sunbeam that we have for sale.
Yeah.
And I thought, if we're going to do that, let's be as carbon neutral as possible. So I contacted P1, and then
missed the gear! No, bust the engine!
They've all gone past you, Tiff.
Oh.
You missed it. So anyway, I contacted P1. They were on the phone to me 20 minutes later and said, "Yep, we'll love to fill all the cars up on the grid with fully synthetic fuel." And then
this
all
is
these,
like what Sebastian Vettel was using in his Grand Prix
it's
car.
the same stuff.
Yeah.
And they sent some fuel over for us. We refueled at Vista Heritage, and we all went. Well, there's out of the 28 cars, 14 of us were on the P1 fuel, because not everybody could get to fuel the cars.
Yeah.
And at the base of that, we took the North of England distribution for the fuel, and all the cars we run in the storeroom, particularly because cars are parked up for 6 months, the fuel doesn't go off,
right?
Unlike modern fuel.
Yeah.
And I like driving to pick the kids up from school in, say, the 8-litre Bentley doing 70 to the gallon on fully synthetic fuel, and the EVs are looking at me and saying, "Oh, that's gas guzzler," and I say, "Well, there's less carbon footprint of this car than there is with your Tesla."
So at the moment, how much per litre is that?
It is $6.99 a litre.
So that's what, 5 times expensive.
But at the end of the day, you're not throwing the fuel away because it's gone off.
But can they make enough of this fuel to bring the price down?
It will improve as time goes on. In the process currently of ramping up production. There's a new.
Do you believe it's a mass market fuel for the future, or would that be
I believe so.
Really?
I believe so.
It's quite heavy steering till you get used to it, isn't it? Till you
Yeah,
get
well, there's no
moving.
power assistance.
Oh God, everything's moving. I've got wipers going. I've fluffed it. I've knocked something off. I've hit the
You
ignition.
turned it off?
I think I did.
Oh, you did as well. There we go.
I was trying to find the wiper blade and I've turned the engine off. Which is, the wipers is right by.
It is that tiny little lever here.
It was an easy mistake knocking the ignition off.
Yeah, exactly.
I've got to admit.
It's the same length, I would say.
So
Oil pressure's up.
Renaults aren't your sort of speciality though, are they?
No, it's quite new for me.
Yeah.
Or from me of old. We're mainly the 1920s and 30s, particularly the 30s.
Oh, this is very modern
This
car.
is very modern.
Oh,
very
wow.
modern.
So is this someone that's just come to you and say, can you sell the car for me?
Absolutely. It's come by a lot of our business is referral.
Yeah.
So it came as a referral from one of our very good clients.
Yeah.
And it's a good client of his, and it was sent.
I've done
There
it.
we go. I'll do your mirrors. I mean your wipers. I'll do your wipers. There we go.
I've turned the
Hey,
engine off
you
again.
turned the engine off again. There you go. Oh dear.
Well, look, they're the same. They're right by
They're
each
next
other.
to each other.
Who designed that? That's the ending. That's
Stay there, stay
man's
there.
coming out. So where were we now? It came to you from someone wishing to sell
Came
it.
as a referral to me to be sold, and it's only been with me a couple of months or so.
Yeah.
So
But you've got the odd little modern Ferrari and Aston Martin hiding in your showroom.
absolutely.
But all those other old-looking things,
The things that you don't understand.
are they mainly storage or are they actually cars for sale as well?
So we've got 16 in storage and 20 for sale.
Oh, 20%, all these old Brooklands looking machines. My father would have watched them race.
Absolutely. We've got some ex-works Brooklands cars, like the Lee Francis Hyper. That was the final demonstrator for Lee Francis.
Well,
Race the Brooklands in
Elvis,
period.
the name I know.
Elvis, yeah. The world's fastest
Bentley
vintage
boys.
Elvis in there as well.
And you race one of these machines?
I
then?
do race them, yeah. I've got a couple of clients that let me drive their cars. So, been racing an ERA, F1 car of the day.
Yeah.
And then I'm racing a 3098 Vauxhall for somebody this year at Donington.
A Vauxhall?
Yeah,
What year
Vauxhall
was that?
3098, that's 1925. You can check the
How many
brakes,
revs have we got here now?
5,000.
6,000. I'm not going past 6.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Still running the engine in.
I like this. I mean, it's a car that's alive
It's
in
a
your
buzzy,
hands.
isn't
I
it?
know. Funny enough, you know, we would drive all these flipping flappy pedal automatic cars nowadays. And my son's got an old 20-year-old Vauxhall Corsa. And I occasionally just borrow it to go to the shop just because I want a car that's alive in my hands. So what else you got?
That'll be a low gear.
I'm going to say I was going for 5th.
Yeah, that was third.
It doesn't have a 5th, does it?
It does. You need
Oh, I
to be a
didn't
bit
get
more
over
towards
there.
me, and then you're in top gear.
I'm in top
fifth gear, I
No,
should
I'm in
say.
top gear, but 5th gear. Oh yes, that's a real cruising gear, isn't it?
Oh,
No, I'll go back to 4, I
Go to
think.
4.
Go back to 3.
Tesla.
I want to rally, I'm on a rally.
Go for it,
We're
go
gonna-
for it. There we go.
oh,
Look at that, no traction control, into second.
I'm still amazed there's no torque. I know it's not a lot of power, and we don't know how much.
Yeah.
That's actually a secret for the
Absolutely,
for the
for the
next
next
salesman
owner.
to find out how
And
much.
I think the Rain-X is now working. So coming to a 90 right, flat.
100 into.
Into.
Have you done rallying? I've done a bit of rallying.
No, my
It's
wife
a
will
wonderful-
read out notes on the sat nav if we're somewhere new. Drop into third, go, over crest.
Into and. So
No,
we got synthetic fuel of the
fuel.
future.
Absolutely.
We've got a proper old-fashioned driving car.
Inline 4, gearbox
Smiles
ahead.
on our faces. And
Absolutely.
what more do you want in a car? If you want to buy a little bit of Alpine history, Tom Hardman on the Carhuna platform is the place to go.